Moms for Liberty really worked miracles.
We have a crisis in America in public education. This is the future of our kids and our country.
You are joyful warriors.
And we are just getting started. Welcome to the Fire of Liberty show. I'm Tina Deskovich, CEO and co-founder of Moms for Liberty, your host today. And we are really excited to bring you moms and dads each week from the front lines of this culture war. We're fighting for the survival of America at Moms for Liberty. And the Fire of Liberty show helps share those stories. And today we have Ashely Jones with us from South Carolina, Florence County, South Carolina. Ashely is our most recent Joyful Warrior Award winner. She's our 2024 Joyful Warrior Awardee. And right now nominations are open for all of you to nominate the 2025 Joyful Warrior. That nomination window closes August 31st. So get your nominations in now. You can go to momsforliberty.org/summit25 and click on awards and read about. We have 7 awards we give out at our gala each year. That'll be at our national summit in Orlando, Florida. So join us, get your tickets, nominate a Joyful Warrior or one of the other 6 awards, and come see them, come celebrate them and see them in October. So I want to start right there at that, because that was quite a night last year. Yes. When you won. Like, the Joyful Warrior Award is the big award. It's the grand award. It is who we are, what we espouse. And the Joyful Warrior Award is for people that really perform with grace under pressure. So, Ashely, welcome to the Fire of Liberty show.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about your Joyful Warrior Award-winning experience.
I woke up on a Friday morning with about 11 text messages that said congratulations. And I wanted to know what I was being congratulated for. I called a friend down in South Carolina and said, what is all of this? And he said, well, they announced the semifinals for the Joyful Warrior Award. What? And he sent me the link, and my name was on there, and I was in there with some pretty tough competition. I called Pat Blackburn, and I said, hey, I don't make the semifinal. Like, I don't make the finalist. I'm out. And she said, we don't control that. And I was like, oh, how did I get this? Very shocking.
Did you know what it was?
I did know. I did, because, we have many awards, and I was there the year before. I mean, I knew.
Okay.
And I was like, what I do because it's who I am, not because I needed an award. Let's be honest.
Well, I think that's very humble of you, but you act right now like I had no idea.
No, I knew exactly what it was, and there was some really great people in that.
Did you not know anybody nominated you?
No, I had no clue.
Okay,
absolutely no clue.
I went back this morning and I dug into your nominations. You had many, many nominations. It wasn't just one person. I don't know if you knew that, because I don't think we share with you guys. We probably should.
You absolutely do not, because I'd love to know. I'd like to read, because read what?
Well, okay. We're gonna, you know what I brought today? I've never done this before on a show. I brought what some people said about you. Ashely has kept South Carolina all together through so many hardships that we have all been through. On top of her having health issues, she never wavered from the mission of being a friend, a shoulder to cry on. She always made time, and we got done what we needed to get done with joy in her heart and a smile on her face. The past 2 years have been very difficult in South Carolina for Moms for Liberty. We've had some major obstacles to overcome. Ashely has been the super glue for all of us. When it looked like it was all falling apart and there just wasn't any hope, Ashely rallied the troops, all the chairs, the vice chairs, the national team, to show us all that giving up was not an option, and that she had enough confidence for all of us. She stepped up to the plate with a smile on her face and made things happen. Ashely has worked tirelessly to meet and build relationship with many of our South Carolina delegation as possible. She made a point to do this without prejudice of party lines, caucuses, or any other barrier. She realizes that all local, state, and federal elected officials are important to making sure our children are protected, and has earned the respect from many of them. Do I need to get the tissues out? I've had quite a few contact me and tell me just how special she is. They love and appreciate how passionate she is, but she doesn't throw stones until it's actually necessary. She asks questions before making assumptions. She has no quarrels with telling any of them, the legislators, how she feels about any subject at hand, but she does it with great respect. Ashely has faced each and every obstacle with a joyful heart and an attitude with a smile on her face. She dove in headfirst when it came to reading legislation. This is one of my favorite ones. And in turn, discussing with our entire legislative committee comprised of chapter members and leaders across our state so that we could better understand what bills were being discussed in our home state, in committees, and what the processes were for being passed into law or not being passed into law. Aside from following 80 plus bills just this last session alone, Ashely was instrumental in the success of our second annual legislative day. I could not think of a more deserving, joyful warrior to be recognized than Ashely Jones. And there are actually a ton more. I'm just going to read a couple more lines here. Ashely is humble, hardworking, honest, dependable. She has fought like hell with a smile on her face. She has persevered even while being persecuted. Ashely has kept working through so many challenges, even her health. That is what your team in South Carolina thinks of you.
I hope they know I think the same of them, because none of it can be done without them.
Yeah.
Without a team, you have nothing.
So you've been serving the last 2 years as the legislative chair for South Carolina for Moms for Liberty.
I am. I took a little hiatus, but a really great woman stood up in my place for me, and she kept it there for me.
And do you get paid for this position?
No, if I do, it got lost in the mail.
I think people need to know that.
Yes.
And so you serve in your chapter as a member, you are a vice chair?
I think I'm vice chair now.
Okay.
When I took back the legislative committee, I gave my chapter to, I'm going to call them out. It's a couple that are the chair, and they are over my chapter. I'm still very active. We still work together and we plan everything, but they're great.
So you were a chapter chair of Florence County.
I was.
And then you became the legislative chair for the state. Again, volunteer, all volunteer work.
All volunteer.
And what does the legislative chair in a state do?
We are responsible for helping pull the agenda items for what our legislative committee is going to follow. I don't know if it's our job, but I make sure that all of our legislators know that we're here to support them, but we're also here to hold them accountable to get what bills we follow across the finish line.
I love that. You say hold them accountable. And I think about on our website, from the minute we launched, we wrote our mission statement. And the next thing we wrote when we started Moms for Liberty was how we fight. And there's 6 of them. And one of them is we hold leaders accountable.
Yes.
Or work to replace them. And
yes,
so
absolutely.
It's like, if you're not going to do your job, we're going to go find someone who will do the job. And
yes.
So you're holding the leaders accountable.
Yes.
Trying to.
Yes.
And so in this legislative committee, like just day-to-day functions, what does a legislative, because people that are listening right now, they know Moms for Liberty, they think school board meetings,
which are always fun.
Yeah. And last week we had on, if everybody wants to go back and listen to last week's episode, we had Charlie Massayer, who's also in South Carolina, ironically. Maybe you guys are getting too much coverage right now, but he is our director of policy and legislative affairs. And so he helps support all of these legislative committees across the country. And he talked a little bit about what they do, but in general, what's the purpose of a legislative committee?
In South Carolina specifically, but I've actually talked to chapter chairs, legislative chairs across the country. We have bills that are filed every day. Like in my state alone, there's 900 bills filed a year. And you have to filter that. What do you support, but what don't you support? What do you want to fight just as hard to keep from happening as you want to get through the finish line? And Charlie's responsible for making sure everybody stays on mission, which is a really hard one when you start talking policy. And you have to, and we build relationships. I don't know if I can tell everybody out there, building relationships matters. You meet with your legislators, you meet with, even if it's school board policy, you have to meet with them. And this is why we want it, why we need it, why we don't need it. And that's what legislative chair does. And then, yes, I get to plan legislative days.
So, but how often do you meet as a committee, and who's on your committee?
So each chapter gets a delegate, and it doesn't have to be a chapter chair. It doesn't have to be anybody in leadership. It can be a chapter member that's just interested in the policy, which is really great too. It's really cool when you get to meet with people that's just an active member who doesn't feel like they're heard.
Yeah, it's great.
It gives them a mission. It gives them a purpose, basically.
So a chapter member can get themselves appointed or voted to be a delegate.
To be the delegate to the state committee.
To the state committee. Okay.
And, yes.
And so you manage the state committee, and how often do you guys get on a Zoom call, and how often do you have to meet?
So we do Zoom calls. I try to do them monthly. Sometimes, sometimes it's every 2 weeks. I have a group chat that's my legislative committee, and we have Facebook chats and everything else.
Yeah.
We talk about everything all the time. My phone is a hot mess, but you try to stay active as far as, we were out of session from May till January. That's a long time.
That's a good break.
You have to keep people involved. You have to keep talking. If you don't keep talking, they're not talking either. And that's the interesting part, is how you stay. Because during January to May, we can go to Columbia and everybody's in one room or one building.
So 900 bills, you said,
are usually filed in South Carolina a year.
And then one of the quotes about you said something about reading and following 80 bills. So, and I'm about to ask you a question, and it's not to put you down. It's to say, what makes you a professional? What professional experience do you have that you can read 80 bills and understand them? Like I want to show America that, what qualifies you to do this?
And nothing qualifies me. Nothing.
That's what I was getting at, right? Like, do you have a PhD in policy? Are you an attorney? Like what?
No, if I have a PhD, it's in being a mom. No, I graduated high school and I got involved 5 years ago. I bought a legal definition for dummies.
Did you really?
I did. And the first year, and that is how I started reading legislation.
Is it one of those yellow and black books?
It is.
Oh,
it is absolutely yellow.
You should have brought that with you.
Oh, I didn't think about it. I mean, since then I've bought like a legal definition, like law book, and you'd be surprised the pages that have been turned in it.
Yeah.
Because number one, I don't know who said it. I've seen it somewhere that somebody has filed that all legislation needs to be filed in English. We really need to get on that. Everybody should be able to read legislation, because you don't know, and everything is a double-edged sword.
Is it hard to understand? So let's just pretend right now ordinary mom or dad is listening and they think, I can't do that. I don't have a law degree or a paralegal degree. That sounds scary, intimidating. I wish I could be more involved. So really, what's it take? Other than legal definitions for dummies?
Like I'm gonna post that picture somewhere on social media. Y'all have to see this book, but it isn't not easy, and it's not something that I would have ever imagined taking it on, ever.
Why do you do it?
Because my kids are who is going to be involved, and who is going to be. It's either going to cost them, or it's going to help them. Every bill that's passed on a county level, on a state level, on a federal level, it's their life. I don't want 20 years from now my children to say, why did you not do anything? My grandchildren, because if I cared when my children were young, maybe we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah, let's back up there for a second. We dove right into, because I couldn't wait to read those to you.
You're going to send that home with me, right?
I had that idea this morning and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to read those and she's going to cry and I'm going to have to get a tissue. We have a fan out there that watches the show every week and he reaches out and says, you've lost your touch. Nobody cried. And so now it may be a goal of mine to bring about a few tears in each episode. But let's back up for a minute and get to know you, Ashely, as a person. Mom?
I am a mother. I am a Mimi. I do not say grandma. I'm a Mimi.
I'm a Gigi.
Are you a Gigi?
I'm a Gigi. Yeah.
I'm a Mimi. I am an aunt. I'm a great aunt.
Whoa.
I'm not, my mother is still alive, so I'm not the head of the family, but that's who I am. I graduated high school. I got married. I had 3 kids. I raised them.
How many grandkids?
I have 9 grandchildren.
That's remarkable.
I have 9 grandchildren. My oldest is I raised, so she's mine, but I have nine grandchildren.
And you just said if you would have paid more attention when your kids were little, maybe you wouldn't have to be fighting this now when your grandkids are little. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
I see things now that I feel like if we would have paid attention when my children were in school or when my children were younger, that maybe we're a movement. Not a moment, we're a movement. If we had 150,000 parents who were stomping their feet and trying to change things 20 years ago, our world wouldn't be where it is now. The movers and shakers.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? But better late than never. Right?
Absolutely.
I'll say that.
Absolutely. My 8-year-old tells me all the time when she gets older, she's going to work for Moms for Liberty. And I say, baby, I hope that Moms for Liberty isn't needed in 10 years.
From your mouth to God's ears, as my mother used to say. And so I want to now talk a little bit about this. We've talked about what a legislative committee is.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the wins you've had over the last few years in South Carolina. And then we'll talk about I think after that, maybe some of Moms for Liberty's values and how you guys espouse those in South Carolina. So let's go on to wins.
One of our greatest wins is probably South Carolina our Department of Education passed a regulation that all materials in school has to be age appropriate.
Oh, that's a harsh bill.
that was a policy done by our school board or our state board of Education.
Yes. So they put a policy in place that just says materials must be age appropriate. That shouldn't even have to be said.
It shouldn't be. But guess what? If it had been said 20 years ago, the stuff that's in the schools wouldn't be in there now, which is huge because now it's time to get them all out. And they made a path where you can go over your school board to the State Department to have it removed.
If there's inappropriate material.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yes.
And how did you go about getting your state school board to enact something of that way? Do you have a relationship with people on your state school board? How does that play out?
And we have a great state superintendent.
You do have let's give her a shout out. Yes. Ellen Weaver in South Carolina. Yes.
She is phenomenal. Good. And we have a great team. I mean, there's a lot on there that probably don't like us, but it's a stigma. It's a stigma that they don't like Moms for Liberty because when they sit down and they talk to you, you're just a person and they realize that. And that's a big thing.
Do you reach across the aisle? And one of the comments about you in here was you didn't care about party or affiliations, that like you I think scripture says you're no respecter of persons, which always sounds odd to me because it sounds like you don't respect people, but it actually means like everyone is equal in your eye, and you go into conversations in an open manner, trying to work together to bring out about solutions. And from reading the comments about you, that's what I gather. So how are you doing that in the work that you're doing in Moms for Liberty in South Carolina?
Most of them now know me.
Most of who?
Most of anybody that's, and it's very important that when you say somebody that's a lawmaker, that it's not just a legislator. It's, we have policies, we have regulations, we have everything. When we say local level, it matters. And they know me. And
hold on, back up. They who know you. So very specific, like your state legislators know you?
Yes, they do. It's kind of a running joke. Don't give her your cell phone number because she's going to message you on the floor.
She's going to message you on the floor. An average person doesn't even know what that means. So,
I'm going to text message them across the floor.
So the floor is they're at their state capitol. They're about to vote on something, or they're debating maybe.
The debates are fun.
At the state capitol. And, legislators that are debating policies, issues, ideas, they have their cell phones on them usually, or sitting on their desk while they're having discussions. And so you're saying you're texting them, like, are you watching it live?
I watch everything. Some of them I have to go back because like committee hearings, there's 3 going on at one time. So I have to go back and rewatch it, because I missed one because I'm watching another. I watch every day, all day.
Are you a policy junkie? I mean, what
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. My children think all of our legislators, all of our school board meetings, all of our meetings in general, they think is YouTube. because it's on my TV. I airplay it to my television.
Okay. And so do they think these people are famous? Like, when we were kids, we were watching whatever, Gilligan's Island, or, those were famous people. So do your kids think your school board members are famous people?
They absolutely do. I had one of Anna's little friends came in and said, "Hey, do you have the president's phone number?" And I was like, "No, I don't." She's like, "You know all these people." Well, some of them I do.
Yeah. Was it you? Somebody put a post up after one of the podcasts.
That was
and
me.
said, was that you?
And
That was you.
Miss Jennifer called Anna and FaceTimed Anna after the podcast, which
So
was great.
cute.
Yes.
That was Jennifer Pippin, who was on a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So she thought she was talking to a famous person.
She did. Yes.
She did. Fantastic.
This afternoon when she gets home from school and she sees this,
she sees you on there, you're going to put it up on the big screen.
Absolutely. Mimi's going to be famous.
Okay. And so you are texting legislators on the floor, and are you harassing them?
Absolutely not. There are people that do, and they usually won't give you their phone number. And if they do,
they'll block you, right?
Well, I don't know if they block you, but
they probably legally can't. At least in Florida, you couldn't.
I don't think you're supposed to. I think some do, but I think they probably give you their assistant phone number. Yeah. If you're ugly to them, I would think so.
So you have a lot of legislators' cell phones. Here's a question for you. I don't know the answer to. Is it only Republicans, or do you have some Democrats in your phone?
Okay, I live in a county that's only Democrats.
So do you have Democrats in your phone?
I do.
And you communicate with them?
I do. Sometimes it's, sometimes we're not on the same side. Sometimes we debate arguments. One thing we all agree on, and I need this to be very important, one thing all the way across the board we agree on is parents have the right to choose for their child. No, all the way across the board.
Do the Democrats you're working with agree with that always?
Always.
They
want to be able to choose for their child the same way we want to be able to choose for ours. And the big thing is I'm not just advocating for me to choose. I'm advocating for them too.
That's great. It's a unifying issue.
Absolutely.
Moms for Liberty's mission statement is to unify, educate, and empower parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. That is a nonpartisan issue. That there aren't Democrat or Republican moms that don't have that right, or dads. Every parent has the right to raise their child, and we stand up for every parent to do that. Yes. I wish more people understood that. And so you're living that in South Carolina. At Moms for Liberty, we have 3 values that we focus on and espouse and live by, and that is stand for truth, build relationships. And I would say that you are doing that really well in South Carolina right now. You were telling me a story the other day about meeting with a Democrat specifically. Do you want to share that now?
Yes. We were, number one, he's one of them that stands on the floor, and anytime he takes to the floor, it's 10 minutes, and he's going to take his whole 10 minutes and probably the next. And his response was, "You're not hateful." When we started talking, "You're not hateful." And I said, "No, I'm not." And we had a great conversation. And
what do you mean a conversation? Did you call him? Like, how did this come about?
We were in the same place at the same time in our state capitol.
Okay.
And we just walked up and started talking. And I don't have a problem.
Who walked up? Like,
I walked up to him.
You skip over so much story. Like, people want to know the juice.
Yeah,
like,
okay,
so you've got this legislator who's a diehard Democrat who likes to grandstand on the floor. Yes. I'm embellishing the story. You can stop me if I'm wrong.
She's very accurate.
Okay, he likes to grandstand on the floor, and you see him somewhere. You're both at the same point at the Capitol somewhere, and you see him.
Yeah.
Does he come up and say, "Are you Ashely Jones?"
No, I walked up and said, "I want you to know that I want to have a conversation with you."
And he said, "Who are you?" Or he
kind of smiled, and I said, "And yes, I'm Moms for Liberty."
Did you have the shirt on?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back because we do have a picture. I wear my pin that I don't have today, but
because we got plenty of branding around here.
Yes,
you're good to go.
And so I had the pin on, I know, and I said, "I'm Moms for Liberty, and I think we should have a conversation." And we had a great conversation around parental rights and the fact that my kid's mine and his kid's his.
And he said, "What? You're not hateful?"
Yeah, I'm not hateful. And I think
and you're like, "Duh."
Well, I think I actually responded, "Well, you're not either." but at the end of our conversation, he said, "Let's take a selfie." And we did. And he said, "I probably wouldn't post it because people are going to eat up your comments." And I said, "Have you seen our comments?" So
Probably happening right now. All the haters
yes,
out there.
yes, but
And so you posted a picture of the two of you?
absolutely,
Did he post a picture of the two of you?
he shared it. He shared it from our side.
Did he
Yes, he did.
really? Good job, Mr. Grandstander. I think that's great. I'm going to
Yeah.
give him some kudos.
Yes,
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how you start to build relationships.
absolutely.
This work is too important to be in our silos or taking one side or another as far as we're not going to work with you. We
No.
can't do that. We have to work together.
Our country's big enough for all of us. That's part of the, the freedom and the liberty. It's
Yeah.
for everybody. We all have the equal rights here. We just need to make sure that we have them. That's the problem. Somehow we got lost along the way.
And so have you had attacks in South Carolina?
I think we have attacks everywhere.
Well, I wasn't at your legislative day this year, but I was at last year's, the year before. This was number 3 this year.
Yes.
Right? So I was at 1 and 2.
Yes.
I think it was number 2. There were actual protesters. Was that the one at the Lieutenant Governor's Mansion? No, that was in North Carolina.
No.
Okay, there were protesters.
I think number 2 was it you that they followed to the car? Was it you or Pat?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, that was. We didn't have a lot of protesters.
They don't want to follow me anywhere.
No. And
and Pat's a pretty strong woman who can take care of herself too.
Absolutely.
I'd be surprised.
Absolutely. Number 2 was, I don't think we had a lot of protesters. This year we did.
Oh, you had a ton this year.
We had, so number 1, a lot of things were in chaos and during the first of the year. So our legislative day was back in March instead of the beginning of the session. And yes, we ended up with protesters. We didn't know we were going to have protesters, but the police department did. And they had cameras set outside the venue when we got there and just said, hey, heads up. You got protesters coming.
What do you think about that? Does it bother you?
Absolutely not. Because let me tell you, one of our moms walked up to the protesters and invited them in to eat. And 2 of them came.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. 2 of them came in, used the restroom, got food and drink. And
was there any conversation or?
They wanted to know what we were for and what we believed, and absolutely had the conversation. This is our mission statement. We're fighting for you, just like you're fighting for us, or you're fighting against us. We're fighting for you. Your children.
One relationship at a time. I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've had experiences, I'd say all across the country, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
The media in general and some of the hate groups and the Southern Poverty Law Center like to classify us and categorize us and put a target on our back,
Absolutely.
A literal hate target on our back. But when we did the Colorado town hall a few months ago, we had very similar experiences. It's open to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's welcome. We put it on the advertisements. And after the town hall, a lady dressed in LGBTQ, rainbows and all the things came up to me. And she said, thank you. She said, I was very scared to come here. And that made me so sad. I was like, why? Why would you be afraid to come here? And she said, I didn't know how I'd be treated. I didn't know what to expect. I'm assuming, and then after talking to her, she expected angry, rage-filled, miserable people attacking her. Nobody did that. We had, sometimes the debate got a little heated, but not really, not terribly. There was honest discussion. Hard questions were asked. Hard answers were given. And she said, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad I came. And then she said this, for the first time in a very long time, I have hope. And I just like that. And I started crying, tears welling up. I have hope that we're not as far apart as I had thought we were. And I just thought, man, we need more of this. And we need more of this everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's happening in South Carolina.
Yes. We do have the ones that, we get called, dark money and and things like that. We get that there, but the ones that are sitting at the table with us or walking into the rooms and having the conversations, they're all usually surprised that we're not that far apart. We really aren't. We all care. We're worried about the next generation.
So attacks come from external. They come from protesters. You're inviting them in. Attacks come nationally, all kinds of names and titles and things we get called. What other type of conflict and attacks do you feel like you've been dealing with in South Carolina?
In South Carolina, we're where the Civil War took place, where it started. That's an understatement of what we are.
What a way to approach this. I love it. Yeah.
And so in South Carolina, there is so much division. Somebody has to stand in the middle. Somebody has to stand in the middle and say, I'm not picking a side, because you're all wanting, I tell everybody the R's in South Carolina is either radical or rhinos. There is no Republican.
Yeah, I'm not in South Carolina, but I follow it somewhat, I would say. And there's so many factions within the conservative movement, within the Republican Party, and so it's no secret that there are a lot of Republicans in Moms for Liberty. So some of that seems to be bleeding over into our chapters, which makes it challenging. And so when I was reading all the compliments about you and your nominations for your award, there was a lot of reference to how hard it is in South Carolina. And
that
I would say you are the legislative chair of one of, if not the hardest state. It also is one of our largest states. We've lost a few chapters over the last few years, either to burnout or maybe just the frustration of the division. And so, we don't need to sweep all this under the rug and hide it. Grassroots work, ground game volunteers, it's hard work.
It is.
And so what are some of the things you've done to kind of keep true north and keep it together? I also feel like often Moms for Liberty is fragile.
Very.
Right? It's just volunteers. Nobody has to do this work. People don't want to be part of something that is bringing them anxiety and stress, and they want to feel good about the work they're doing. And so other legislative chairs or chapter chairs that are struggling with the same type of internal conflict, give them some advice.
Take a break. Take a break. If 24 hours, take a break and come back. You'll come back with a different perspective, usually.
Yeah.
And some days you want to beat your head in the wall, but do it gracefully and with nobody watching. I think that's the hardest part. There is burnout. I started the beginning of 2022. I walked into a room of 12 people, and here I am. We have great parents that have all come along in that time span. Many of the ones that were in that room have gone on to, doing different things in life, but rest assured they're still here. They still call. I still have their numbers, and they are still active. They just can't do it anymore.
And it's okay that they've moved on.
Yes.
I think I've read somewhere you get about 2 years people can volunteer on the average person.
Right.
Some of us are glutton for punishment and can do 20 years.
Is that what it is? It's punishment?
And, and others come and go, a few months, a few days, whatever the reason. People have personal lives. People have work, jobs, kids, obviously. Issues that are important to them and issues that are less important. And so how do you keep everyone pointed? What do you do to keep everyone marching in the same direction?
We stay on mission.
Mission.
Mission
is the North Star.
Mission is the North Star, and our kids.
Okay.
Our kids, their future. They're, like I said, we do this for the next generation. None of us are doing this for us. I don't know a single person in this battle for us. We are all
There's
here.
a lot more things if I was going to do for me, like going to an island, laying on a beach.
Yes.
This was for me, right?
We're here because I'm here because I don't want my kids to have to do it, my grandbabies to have to do it. A lot of us are here because we want to be a voice with our children. We're 6 years into parental rights in South Carolina, and it still hasn't passed. We have, parents care. Parents care. And I'm going to be honest, we have teachers that care too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a lot, and they're all here because they want to make things better for the next generation.
Yeah, we have chapter chairs that are teachers. Several weeks ago, we had Paula Davis from Indiana. She's a current public school teacher, chapter chair.
Yes.
That was a great interview. And so let's talk a little bit about, you say parents, we all care. We care about our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Some advice for parents that they see something concerning. What should they do?
Speak up. Don't hide it.
Speak up where? If you're watching this right now, an assignment just came home. School started this week, a lot of places across the country, and will be starting over the next few weeks around the rest of the country. Permission slip comes home. Opt-in form comes home. Lesson comes home that you were like, that's not what I learned in school. What do they do? What action do they take?
Well, number one, you can find a Moms for Liberty chapter near you.
Nice. Yeah, there's a plug. Thank you for that.
Yes, number one. That's number one goal. For when parents call me, and they do, I usually, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to call your teacher, and if your teacher doesn't give you the answer you like, let's go to the principal. If the principal doesn't, hey, let me connect you to a school board member. There is, I don't know what happened in the world where there's a disconnect from a lot of people don't know the chain of how to report something or how to take control, or they don't know what to do. That's my job.
That is the job of Moms for
Yes.
Liberty. I mean, what we saw when we were on school boards when we started this was, I tell the story all the time. I remember a mom coming into my school board meeting in Florida and saying, if you don't listen, if you don't do this, I'm going to go across the street and I'm going to tell the county commissioners. County commissioners have zero authority over school districts in the state of Florida. And so a lot of things started adding up. People don't know. Who was here? Jennifer Pippin was here last week. One of our first chapter chairs. She didn't even know a school board existed, right? She just thought the principal was the ruler of all education.
Right.
And so parents in general just don't know. I think a lot more kind of know now, but not really. If you're a new mom and you have a kindergartner, like the teacher's the ruler and you're like, oh, there's a principal. That's how would you know there's something more than that? You wouldn't. And so that's part of, I love that you said that's my job. And at Moms for Liberty. That is our job, to help educate people and tell them the process, the proper way to go.
Yes. I think we maybe lost it in civics class that, okay, this entity's over your schools and this entity's over your county and this is over your state. And this is, I think maybe a lot of people don't realize that because you also have town council and things like that. But when you start telling them, hey, this is a problem where you take it to your principal or your, in our school board, each district in our county has a different member. And when you tell them this is who you go to, it starts opening doors that they understand things. And number one, always be kind. These people are elected. They're not really getting a big paycheck either.
In some places, no paycheck. A lot of places in the country, school board members are just volunteers.
Yes. So let's always be kind.
Have you guys been involved in elections at all in South Carolina?
Our state superintendent.
We do not endorse in state races at this point, but I do know a lot of our members and chapters were behind Ellen Weaver.
A lot of our chapters in South Carolina, they have been very vocal, door knocking and sign waving for a lot of our elected representatives. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of your chapters across the state,
yes.
And I know that you're. When it comes to your chapter involvement, it's your chapter in Florence, but just the records out of Charleston and out of Berkeley, like flipping entire Fort Mill school district, flipping York County was killing it. Like you go across the state with school board races, and we've done really well. Nationally, we've won over 500 school board races. So
we've had, I know, I don't want to say her name. I know Berkeley County flipped her school board.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy, I've already said it. So,
and then they fired the night one. They fired the superintendent.
Yes.
That made national news.
Yes, great.
It's really crazy the stuff that comes out of South Carolina.
Yes.
I'll never forget Charleston calling me, Tara calling. So we do not get involved in races outside of education arenas. And there was a mayor race there.
Yes.
She was sending me news articles
that
there was a Moms for Liberty candidate apparently
for mayor,
which we don't get involved in, and the candidate wasn't running on the Moms for Liberty name at all.
But he won. We're gonna say that
he won. You're jumping to the end of the story. The opponent started running commercials, and that's what she was sending to me, trying to hang the Moms for Liberty name around the opponent, thinking that they would, because a Democrat, one was Republican, was a Democrat, has won Charleston for 100 years or 200 years mayor race. Anyways, long story short, the Moms for Liberty name actually helped get the candidate that wasn't even our candidate elected. And so I'm just going to take this time to plug a Moms for Liberty endorsement and say, I don't know if you know this, we have a trial going on right now. We wouldn't let you all endorse Ellen Weaver because we only endorsed in school board races, but we have a test program out right now on seeing how it works for Moms for Liberty to endorse at a state level education uh,
Yes.
race. And so in California right now, our California chapters all came together. Everyone had to vote yes. We were going to not allow any disagreement because we didn't want to divide the chapters. So they have voted to endorse statewide a candidate for their state education commissioner. I might have the title wrong. It's
Right.
different from state to state, but the head of education in California. So we're trying it on for size to see how it goes.
I think it'll be great. I really do.
They're really excited.
Yeah.
The California education is a nightmare, as you can imagine.
I watch some of their school board. Yeah, I think it's a policy thing. I do watch some of their school board meetings.
Well, there's
And-
a lot of independent school boards that actually stand for parental rights, but the state keeps overriding them
Mhm.
and making them violate parental rights. It's really quite remarkable. So we really want to get in and help support this role in California. And
Yeah.
I have a lot of hope. She seems like a great lady.
It's exciting. Our state superintendent's up in 2026, so it'll be interesting.
So if we're successful,
Mhm.
is Ellen Weaver going to run again?
Yes.
She is.
And we really need Ellen Weaver. We need to keep Ellen Weaver.
Okay.
And I can say that publicly. And
You
I'll
would
say
have-
it as personally, that's my personal opinion.
In order for you guys to be, if we agree to move forward, if it goes well in California and we move forward with the plan to allow states to endorse,
Yes.
this means every chapter in South Carolina would have to vote in this vote the same way for Ellen to be able to
I don't
endorse
think
it.
that's a problem.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't.
That's
I don't
great.
think
Okay.
there are things that we all agree on. We may not agree on the method, but we all agree on the product.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's great. So we're going to start winding this down now. I just
Okay.
want to hear some last words of advice from you. You're obviously a great leader.
Okay.
The Joyful Warrior Award winner for 2024. Great leadership qualities. And one of the greatest leadership qualities, in my opinion, is being humble. And my goodness, I'm not sure if I know anybody more humble than you. So I want to close out a little bit, you talking back about the Joyful Warrior Award. I want to remind everyone that's watching right now that the window is open right now to nominate a leader in your community for one of our 7 awards for our Founders Awards. You can go to momsforliberty.org/summit25. Click on awards. You can read about the awards. Take the time to nominate someone. What did it mean to you to win the Joyful Warrior Award?
Just to be nominated was overwhelming. To win, there is no explanation. I did make it into the finalists.
Oh, spoiler alert. We just said you won,
yes,
and now you're like, I made it to the finals.
And
so you told us in the beginning of the show what it was like to make it into the semifinals. You didn't believe it. You didn't really, you didn't, I say you didn't understand, but you said you understood the award. You just didn't understand how you got there.
Right.
And you even called Pat, who was head of all of our chapters at the time. And how did I get here?
Actually, I said, okay, I appreciate this, but I'm not going into the finalists. And she said, we don't have, that's not our job. We don't know. And I think she explained the process.
And how it goes. So then you get announced as the finalist. And how'd that go for you?
I really thought it was a mistake. I'm just going to put it out there like, oh, wow, how did this happen? I knew one person that nominated me because she said, I had won our state at Legislative Day. We do state awards, and we did the legislative Joyful Warrior Award at our Legislative Day. And they said, well, Ashely, you deserved it. Okay. But then I, got to Summit and I got to meet the ladies that I was.
The other 2 finalists.
The other
who
2
was Alex, right? Alex Bauer, and who we had, she was like number 2 on the on the Fire of Liberty show. Yeah. And Shanna, I think out of Corpus Christi were the top 3 finalists.
Yes. And then it was, okay, there's no contest. Yeah. I don't know. I hate to say it this way, but there was no contest. Alex had that award.
In your mind?
In my, yes.
She's pretty awesome.
She's amazing.
She's pretty great.
She's absolutely, and it was the first time I'd gotten to meet her. Like, I followed her on social media and, all that, but this is the first time I got to meet her, and she's such a force. And
so it's the awards dinner night, our Such a Time as This gala, which you can buy tickets for this year just for the gala.
Really?
Yeah, we're opening up more seats just for that night because it is such a big deal. People want to bring their family and their friends, and the keynote speaker we're going to announce soon. It's going to be a great night. So you're at the dinner gala, and we debated this past year on potentially letting you guys know beforehand. And
That'd have been a good idea.
no, it takes away all the fun. But we get videos made. Oh, we should have played your video today. I should have pulled that. We contact your friends and family behind the scenes, and we get videos made of the winner, and we put it up. So you're sitting at your table, we read the finalists, and then you see your video. How'd that go down for you?
I was ugly crying. I don't remember who it was on the stage said, pinch your nose.
Pinch your nose?
Pinch your
Probably
nose.
Pat. It sounds like a Pat thing.
Yeah, pinch your nose, because
Oh.
in that moment, this non-paying job that I have, there was validation that it's worth it.
Mm.
Like, I wish you could see the video, because that's the story of where it started and where I'm at now. And it was, in that moment, it wasn't all in vain, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And as I walked off the stage, Mr. Glenn Beck hugged my neck and congratulated me, which was kind of weird. He was the first person. So,
oh, it was so great having Glenn Beck there last year. I mean, I got to sit next to him and, chat with him through dinner. And so getting to know him a little bit better, he's so genuine. He was there. He was paying attention to all the people that won. And for those that don't know, one of our awardees was from Texas, and Glenn lives in Texas. And she actually passed out earlier in the day at an event and was rushed to the emergency room. And she won one of the awards that night. And we were like, who can accept this on her behalf? And he came up on stage and he's like, I'll accept it on her behalf, which was fun. And then he said, hey, let's take this over to the hospital to her. And he got his driver to take me and him to the community hospital in Washington, D.C. He doesn't, I don't know if this is out for the public to know, but he doesn't carry ID with him. And so they weren't going to let him in to see her because he didn't, in the hospital security. And that public emergency room was rough. I am not going to lie. And we had a good time sitting there, but he was genuine. He went back there, and she was like delirious, one eye open, half asleep. And she's like the biggest Glenn Beck fan. And so it was really, really great of him to do that. But he hugged you, I believe, because he was paying attention and so impressed with the work that you guys are doing and the work that you've done. So Glenn Beck hugs your neck, and you go back to your table. Are you with your people?
So at our table is all of South Carolina. Our table, Nestle, keeps all of us together. And they were so excited. And I think I was still in shock, a very, very big shock, because number one, we don't do it for the awards. We don't do it for the claps. We don't do it for the applause. We do it for the cause.
Yeah.
That's, one of the quotes that we have. But, and in that moment, it was, I hate to say validation, but that is what it is, that we're noticed, we're seen and appreciated.
Do you think you deserve the award now?
No.
Oh my gosh, Ashely, do I need to read some more of these to
no,
you?
Please don't. Just let me take those with me.
Okay, I won't read any more. But is there any other words of advice for anyone? It doesn't have to be Moms for Liberty. Anybody that is just struggling, trying to do what they think is right, trying to stand up in an area. It could be small. It could be in your work group or your church group. You know there's a problem.
Yes.
But you're scared to do something about it. What's the advice?
Always speak it. Always. I tell everybody all the time, if you see something, somebody else sees it and they're scared, be their voice. Be the one to come out, because there's somebody out there that agrees with you.
Do you need to be an expert on that issue?
Absolutely not. I graduated high school, got married, and had kids.
And you're now reading bills like an expert. And you found the tools and resources you needed to do that.
I did.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be honest, I have people that I bounce bills off of people all the time. I mean, that's where you're at. You get there because you stay persistent. You stay persistent. And remember that your voice matters.
right there. I
Right.
think that's your voice matters. The only other thing I want to ask real quick is we titled this episode "The Ripple Effect." Excuse me, the ripple effect, but we haven't really talked about that at all. So what is you said that is really important to you, that you live your life in a way
The ripple effect.
of the ripple effect. So explain that, and then we will wrap up this episode of the Fire of Liberty.
One stone creates a wave that creates an entire movement. I used to say I want to be the stone that's thrown in the middle to shake things up. I want to be the wind that throws the stone to create the change. That's where it's at.
I love it. I
That's
love
where
it.
it
The
is.
ripple effect from the
Ripple effect.
stone, from the wind, all in the waves. And
Mm.
you said early in this episode that if you would have done this work 20 years ago, or if parents would have done this work 20 years ago, it wouldn't be so hard today. And
No.
so I'd like to say that because we're doing it now, it's not going to be so hard for our kids 20 years
20
from
years
now.
from now.
And the ripple effect will continue to take place from all the work that you've done and that all the Moms for Liberty members are doing across the country.
Yes.
And so I want to thank you for being here today on the Fire of Liberty show. It's been an honor to have you here. Thank you for being such a joyful warrior in such a complicated state of
It
South
is.
Carolina. We pray that you will continue to do the great work. And we want to thank everyone for joining us today on the Fire of Liberty show. I'm Tina Deskovich, CEO and co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Today we had Ashely Jones, our legislative chair in South Carolina, our 2024 Joyful Warrior Award winner. And we will see you next week, 10 a.m. live at the same place.